Hey guys, Sunday's around the corner and this is your cue to start creating that new outfit that you want to rock on Sunday. Don't wait till Saturday night before you start creating your outfit. Anyways, in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I created this very modest Sunday outfit. So first off, here is my sketch that I had made for an asymmetrical neckline top with uneven hem and short sleeves, and then the pants are just palazzo pants. So on to the tutorial. First off, note that I'm not going to be showing you how to create the pants in this video. So here are my reusable patterns from University of Patton Jackson, obviously, and I'm going to just start off and here is my damask fabric. Now note that I used damask fabric for the top and accordion fabric for the pants. So this is my fabric. I had gone ahead to fuse with interfacing first before I proceed to cut. Guys, are you team fuse with interfacing before you cut or team fuse with interfacing after you have cut? Anyways, let me know what your response is in the comment section and let me know why you do what you do. So if you fuse before you cut, let me know why you do that. If you fuse after you cut, let me know in the comment section why you do that. So here are my patterns, reusable patterns. As usual, this is how to use our patterns if you've bought cardboard patterns from us. So use chalk to trace out your patterns onto your fabric. Now this is way easier and faster, so just trace it out and make sure to mark out the horizontal lines. Those lines are very important. So if you've bought our patterns, you would notice that in most cases the first line is the bust point line, first horizontal line is the bust point line, second horizontal line is the underbust line, and the third horizontal line is the waistline. So once I'm done tracing this out, I'm just going to go ahead and draw out those lines. Those lines are very important, guys. So I'm drawing out the lines on all of my panels. Now note that it is because this design has an asymmetric neckline. That's why I have 3 front pieces. On the norms, we would have just had the center front panel unfold. So note how I'm cutting my patterns out. I'm cutting inside the chalk markings, not outside. Inside the chalk markings is more accurate that way. Once I'm done cutting, I'm going to go ahead and notch all of those horizontal lines. It's important to notch those lines, guys, because when we're sewing, we're going to have to be matching those notches. Very important. It is one thing to have accurate patterns and it's another thing to actually follow instructions, and this is why we do all of these videos. So I've gone ahead to cut the pattern for my lining fabric as well. Also for my lining fabric, I fused with interfacing before I went ahead to cut. Now notice how it is. Wrong sides must face each other because of that asymmetric neckline. Is very important. So the sides that have the facing must face each other on all panels. Now I'm talking about the fashion fabric and the lining fabric. Now for the back, you don't need to stress with that, but for the front, it's really important. Now here are my back pattern pieces. It's just straightforward, not so much story about the back because the neckline of the back is a regular round neckline. So now I'm just going to go ahead and join my pieces. This part is very important, so you need to pay attention, especially if you bought patterns from us. You need to pay attention to this. Now if you're a beginner, first begin by pinning your pattern pieces. It is because I'm obviously a professional, that's why I can just sew directly without having to pin. Now I'm starting from the bottom. Notice that my side front panel is on top and my center front panel is what is on the machine. All the time when you're joining your front panel pieces, the side front panel must be on top. Can you see what I did? Now depending on how it is positioned, you might need to sew from the top or the bottom, just depending on how comfortable it is. But notice my notches. I'm matching the notches on my side front panel and my center front panel at the bust point. That point is very important, guys. That bust point area is literally a pivotal point, so you need to pay attention to what I'm doing at that bust point. So I've matched my notches and I'm going to go ahead and sew from the bust point to the top, ensuring that my seam allowance, so usually when you buy our patterns, our inseam allowances are half an inch, and our side seam allowances are 1 inch. So this is an inseam, so I'm going ahead to just use 0.5 inches to join my panel pieces. So make sure that as you are joining, your panel pieces are evenly, the allowance on your panel pieces are even as you are joining it. One must not jut out more than the other. So I flipped it to the other side and I'm sewing from the bottom. Now pay attention to what I'm doing at that underbust. Can you see the underbust area? You can see that there's a bit of a gap, right? That gap is very, very, very important. You should have about half an inch at that point, right? And then just go ahead to sew, just as you can see me sewing. Like, this is just how it is done, guys. And then make sure that your seams meet at the bust point and lock your seams. Shikena. That's basically all. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. Now this is what the result is. I'm still going to go ahead and iron it as well as mold it. So you need to watch this video to the end, because that molding aspect is also very, very important, and I'm sure that you'll be able to learn 1 or 2 things from that. So again, remember that your side front panel must be on top. Now I'm joining the other side. So my side front panel is on top and I'm sewing from my bust point to the hem, still paying attention to the fact that there should be a half an inch gap at the under bust at that point. Very, very important. So go ahead and join your seams using half an inch seam allowance. Now after getting to the hem, I'll lock my seams and then go ahead and join from my bust point to the top again, making sure that my side front is on top. Now notice that I'm working my seams. Because I'm a professional, I'm just working my seams to see where I should start from. If you're a beginner, please pin pin so that it's easier for you. So I've worked my seams and I know where to start from, so it's much easier for me because I've done this, a lot of times. So I'm still using my same half an inch seam allowance and ensuring that the seam allowance on both panels are equal. It's not that one will be 1/4 of an inch and the other one will be half an inch. So this is me just locking my seams and we are done. So now the next step is to go ahead and iron. Now in ironing, you see that bust ham? That tool is very, very important. That's what we're going to use to mold that bust area. So first off, I'm just going to go ahead and iron from my under bust to the hem. I'm just ironing the seams in opposite directions. Now I don't need to use the bust ham for this because the seams are flat and I can pretty much see what I'm doing. But for the bust area, you can see that I have put the bust ham underneath to create that mold, and I'm going to start ironing my seams apart. So I'm ironing them flat and I'm ensuring that the seams are apart. Can you see what I'm doing? As much as possible, try to use steam so that you're also manipulating the fabric into this shape. Do you understand? You're literally just using the heat to mold the fabric into the shape that you want. That's basically what we're doing here. So again, I'm using heat and steam to iron them, and I'm ironing the seams apart for all the way from the underbust to the top. So once I'm done doing this, I'm going to take my stay. Now this is stay. This is fusible interfacing. It's called stay in Nigeria. So I'm taking my fusible interfacing and I'm just cutting random pieces. Like, these are just random pieces that I'm cutting just to layer over that bust area so that I can mold it. So I'm layering over the bust area to mold it. So in this situation, you need to also use steam. So mold it over the bust area. If at this point you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure that you pause at this point and hit the subscribe button. And I'm sure that you've learned a lot from this video already. So make sure that you hit that like button and as much as possible share with your community so that you can all learn together. So you can see that I'm molding around that bust area just to create that shape. You can see how just look at the difference between this side that I have molded and the other side that is just flat. So I've done another layer, I cut out another layer and I'm layering over the first layer. The main focus is around the bust area. So from like the across chest area, not even as high as the across chest area, but you know, just slightly above the nipple point to the underbust. That's where the focus of this layering should be, the layering and the molding. So this is a third layer. These are just random uneven pieces, right? And this is why it's good to keep pieces of your stay, so that for projects like this you can just make use of the pieces to layer and mold. Now I'm done molding this side. Usually my layering is usually about 2 to 4 layers. I have 3 layers here, so usually I do between 2 and 4 layers, just depending. Now I'm going ahead to iron open my seams, and then I'm placing my bust hem. Same process as the same procedure that we used for the first bust. So for the first side, sorry. So I'm going ahead to iron my seams flat. Iron your seams flat first before you begin to layer. So guys, let me let the cat out of the bag. For my next tutorial, I'm going to be uploading a tutorial on how I created that jumpsuit. It's called the Hogla jumpsuit, and the pattern is available in size 6 to size 26. So for my next video, I'm going to be uploading the tutorial of that. I'm 70% done with creating the jumpsuit as well as filming the tutorial, and I already love it. I used an orange crepe fabric and it's looking so pretty already. I can't wait to share that with you. So if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe and you hit the notification button so that you don't miss it when I upload. So back to our tutorial. I'm just going ahead to layer. I think this is the second layer that I'm putting. Remember that for the other side I used 3 layers, so try to ensure that for both sides you're using the same amount of layering so that you know it's just even. So this is after I had layered it. Can you see how it looks like? It's just already, see how structured it is on its own. I absolutely prefer to use stay rather than using wadding or all of those things, because stay is light, stay is just breathable, and it's just easier for our climb. So I'm just going to go ahead and iron my seams flat. Once I'm done ironing my seams flat, I'm just going to go ahead and fix my zip. So I'm fixing the zip on the fashion fabric alone first, so that I would now go ahead and then turn the fashion fabric with the lining fabric at the neckline, at one side of the zip, and the hem as well. And then midway through this project, I decided to put boning at the midriff area. So this is just optional. I just did this just because I just wanted, you know, a bit more snatch at that waistline. So this is, I did that. The length of the boning is just from the underbust to the waistline, literally just the tummy area, just to snatch that area. This is optional actually, so you can skip this step. Now once I was done with that, I went ahead to hem. So I've hemmed and I have sewn at the neckline. Now in hemming, make sure that you use hemming gum. Add a hemming gum to the hemming. I think that in a subsequent video, I'm going to show you how to use hemming gum. Now the essence of this hemming gum at the hem and the neckline is for your seams to be crisp, right? Because by the time you flip it outside in, and you now iron after notching, you can say I'm notching, you would realize that your seams will be crisp and just flat, lay flat. Now the main essence is because the hemline is uneven, so I need to, as much as possible, do all of these things just so that I have a more pretty outcome. So once I was done with this, I went ahead to flip it inside out, and then I fixed the sleeve. Now the sleeve for this pattern is a short sleeve. Because I used damask, I ensured that I lined that sleeve because I don't want the fabric to be grating on my skin when I wear it. So this is sort of like the final outcome. I just went ahead to hem, and then that opening where the opening at the zip area where we used to flip it inside out, I'm just going to close it up with hemming gum, right? But you can see how crisp the edges of my hemline is, and I absolutely enjoyed this project, and I loved the outcome. It was just modest and just, you know, different from what I would normally wear. So this is the opening. I'm just going to go ahead and seal this up with hemming gum, and guys, here is the final result. Ta-da! I loved this look. Like, it was so pretty with the accordion pants, damask top and then accordion pants, and see how the waistline is. Not like my tummy is big on the norms, but I just loved how flat it looked. Like, this is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So guys, if you're not subscribed at this point, make sure that you subscribe. And if you're not following me on Instagram, I mean, why? My Instagram handle is at University of Pattern Drafting, and on TikTok I am at University of Pattern Draft. Ensure that you follow me. And to place an order for these patterns, simply send the WhatsApp message to the number that you can see on the screen. I'm sure that you've enjoyed this video. Ensure that you give it a thumbs up. Ciao guys, see you in my next video.